once in a while, I do my celebrity crush thingy, and this is like an update thing. I usually do these like in February, maybe I'll redo it, but I'll probably be busy, reviewing Star Wars content, because we got Mando Season 3 coming, I think Valentine's Day, and, yeah. Also, I have a bit of the cough still, so, like, keep in mind my voice may, like, crack up through this or, something. I'm, like, blushing on the other side of my laptop, even though you guys cannot see me, but maybe I'll turn it on for, like, a few things. Or whatever. And, keep in mind also, this is just like my personal opinion. Some of these guys are dead, some of these people are alive still, or like could be like my grandpas or whatever age, but like I like think that they're cute, or I grew up with their movies or whatever. But yeah, so first you have Alex O'Loughlin, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, from the reboot that they did like 10 years ago of Hawaii Five-0 as Commander Steve McGarrett. I loved the show. I wish that they would, like, spin it off. Like, NCIS has, like, NCIS LA, they recently did a Hawaii one. What about Hawaii Five-0? Like, they could, like, branch it off. Like, actor Daniel Day Kim, for example, he played the character Chin in the remake, Chin Ho Kelly. And it's like this. His character did in season 8 is like the boss of LA task force. So like 50 LA, anybody? Like he's still around too, I'm pretty sure. Like Daniel Day Kim is for acting. Everybody wants him in Cobra Kai. But why not like spin off Hawaii Five-0 or something? I mean, like I just said, NCIS, CSI, like those crime shows have spin-offs, so why not Hawaii Five-0? There was also this amazing show like in 2007 called Moonlight, and fun fact, in like I think it's the season 8 premiere of Five-0, there's a character named Mick St. John, and that was Alex's character on the series Moonlight. This one right here. This cute vampire. Then you got Sir Anthony Hopkins. I loved his work as Hannibal. Okay, Hannibal's like one of my favorite characters of all time that he portrayed. I also love Mads Mikkelsen's version. I don't think I've seen the full thing of the movie Hannibal, but like I've seen Red Dragon, I've seen Silence of the Lambs, I've seen the prequel movie that they did called Hannibal Rising, and I've seen the TV series Hannibal, which I loved as well. Like really much, with my boy Mads Mikkelsen in it for the TV show Hannibal. I loved him in the Thor movies. I haven't seen Love and Thunder yet, but maybe as a cameo, even though I think he died in Ragnarok. And there's this show that I really want to watch called Westworld. I may as well watch it one day with like Jeffrey Wright from the Batman. And it's like supposed to be like Jurassic Park, I think. But it's a robotic gunslinger instead of dinosaurs, played by one of the guys on the list. On any of these like tabs down here, there's a bunch of them. And I think Anthony's supposed to be like your John Hammond. Like somebody that created the robotic gunslinger, and then it goes crazy. There's also an original from like 1960s. Maybe I'll watch that one like one day before watching the TV show, see how they compare. So like I won't be shocked or anything. Next you have Ben Mendelsohn. I love him, okay. I loved him in Rogue One. He's like one of the perfect villains ever. I hope we see him in Andor, maybe season 2 though. Like there's hints that he's probably going to be coming throughout the series. Right. So it's like this. Plus season 2, I think it's like the final 3 episodes or something are supposed to be leading into Rogue One, but it's like, are we gonna? I made a separate video on season 2 of Andor, like, if we'll see Krennic, if we'll see Mads Mikkelsen's Galen Erso. I think we will, though, at some point. I don't know about Galen, though, just because we met him in Rogue One. And it seems that... I don't know. It seems that we met Galen Cassian met Galen in Rogue One. Maybe not Krennic in Rogue One. I don't know. I also think... So I haven't really caught up with Andor because I've been sick. If he hasn't, I also think we're probably going to see Jimmy Smits. Especially like, the fact that he's in Rogue One. Like, anybody from Rogue One, besides next to, like, Jyn, because, like, they met in... Cassian and her met in Rogue One, for example. I think we're not going to see her. We may see Baze and Chirrut. Baze Malbus and Chirrut Emily. I don't know. I don't know about, like, Bodhi Rook, Riz Ahmed. I don't know about C-3PO. Sorry, K2SO. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll see a few other, like, canon or whatever characters. There's also this Stephen King show that I kind of loved, even though I don't think I've watched, like, the full thingy, though, called The Outsiders. There's this... movie called Vertical Limit with a few of the guys on the list, or like one or two of the guys on the list, like a bunch of Australian actors. And then there's the series called Bloodline. It's like my first introduction to Ben from like maybe 2010, with a few like Stephen King, speaking of Stephen King, people associate like the original Carrie Sissy Spacek, this guy named Owen Teague, who was like one of the teenage bully thingies in the It remake for part 1 or 2, or maybe both of them. And a few other Stephen King and like other Hollywood people that like I know of and stuff. Pardon me. Then you have Bruce Greenwood. He's a Stephen King aficionado, I guess. He was in this movie called Gerald's Game, which was directed by the guy that did Dr. Sleep, which I loved. It's a sequel to The Shining. I'll probably just leave it at that. He's your remake of Captain Christopher Pike in J.J. Abrams' Star Trek movies. I loved his. I prefer Anson Mount better. But that's just my take, even though I, like, loved Bruce. Like, I used to have a crush on him in high school. A few of, like, my friends or people that I worked with in, like, the special needs kind of department, they said, like, they call me his last name sometimes or whatever as a joke, or Bruce Greenfart or something. There's also this film-based stuff of real-life events called The Speech Hereafter. I'll just, like, leave it at that, because, like, you guys can probably look it up, I'm sure, if you want to. I'll just leave it at this. There's a bus crash that happened in Texas in, like, 1990 something. And I think there was, like, one survivor, well, 2 if you want to include the bus driver. But one survivor of kids... And, like, 12 of the students died by a bus crash that, like, drowned, sank something, and he, like, plays the widowed father. But, yeah. Then you got Burt Lancaster. Now, this is just my personal opinion, but Burt Lancaster and Kevin Costner are my 2 favorite Ryan Earp actors. Why not? Even though I'll get up to him somewhere along the line, like he's over here somewhere. But Dennis Quaid is like my and Kirk Douglas are my favorite Doc Hollidays. I like Val Kilmer's in them, but like I kind of feel like I like Burt and Kevin Costner, who's coming up soon, and Dennis Quaid and Kirk Douglas's Holidays Better. And he's also in the Kevin Costner film, which is funny enough because Kevin Costner, like 5 years after this movie, called Field of Dreams, would be Wyatt Earp in the movie Wyatt Earp, maybe 5 years later. Called Field of Dreams. The If You Build It, You Will Come baseball film that has James Earl Jones / Darth Vader, the late great Ray Liotta, and it's like based off of a book, which is emotional as well. I believe Kevin Costner is like on my list later. Then you got Charles Shaughnessy. He's known for getting screamed at, Mr. Sheffield, by Fran Drescher right here in the show The Nanny. He's also heartthrob Shane Donovan and his twin brother Andrew Donovan on the hit series Days of Our Lives, which I used to watch, but maybe I'll watch it again. He also did a few other things. I think he guest appeared on General Hospital. It probably says that in this one. Yeah. And a few other things, like he guest appeared on the series Victorious at one point, like that's him in Victorious. Like if there's any teenagers watching or whatever. And yeah. Then you got the late great Charlton Heston. He's known for saying the passage of the Ten Commandments, starting a charity race as Moses and sorry, give me one quick second, guys. In Ben-Hur, I believe it was Ben-Hur. He introduced us to the Planet of the Apes in the 1960s or 50s, and then I believe he was a CGI'd ape, if I'm not mistaken. In the remake that they did in 2001, the Tim Burton, Mark Wahlberg remake that they did. Or maybe he did a voiceover. Then you have Christian Slater. I'm excited for Willow. I haven't seen the first, the 1980 movie, but I'll probably watch that since I'm a huge Lucasfilm fan, hence why I'm talking Star Wars on here, on YouTube. He's in this film called Mobsters, which I really loved about all these famous mobsters, not Al Capone, but Lucky Lucino, I believe. And a bunch of great cast is in it. Patrick Dempsey himself, Dr. McDreamy, before Dr. McDreamy. And one of my crushes that's I have a list of them, so he's coming up pretty soon. Named Costas Mandylor. Kevin Costner's half-brother in the film Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. He co-leads, in a way, this Western called Young Guns 2. Cannot wait to see, if there's a sequel. Because, Lou Diamond Phillips apparently wants to come back. So does Kiefer Sutherland. Or, they've been in talks, but it's, I don't know. He also interviewed Brad Pitt in Interview with the Vampire, if you guys know what I mean, in that movie. I haven't, seen the TV show yet. And he's one of Pedro Pascal's best friends in We Can Be Heroes. If I watch Willow, I'll probably do an update on here, what I like / what I didn't like about Willow. Episode by episode, maybe. Or maybe if anybody wants to join, I'll post on Discord a co-host, and we can break down episodes of Willow, since I may have my cold still. I don't know. It's been 2 weeks or whatever. And then yeah. And I've been through a little bit of stress, I guess. I don't know if any of you guys know what a cyst is out there. I guess I don't know how the easiest way to put this is. It's not cancerous or whatever. But it's a skin cell that bursts, if you don't wash your face or whatever. Or something, and here, I'll go into Google Images for these people. But yeah, I got like a small one. It was like bigger in like, I'm gonna be like July or August. So I'm gonna get that removed, but it's probably been stressing me out. And then there's a few other kind of thingies. I've been drinking iced cappuccinos a lot, and like that's been kind of not good for me. Like I've had loads of stomach problems, let's just say. And my dentist is officially nuts. Yeah. Because like I don't feel good, and she kind of forced me to go today when like I don't want to get her sick and my stomach kind of hurted too. I'm like a little bit better, but I'm still gonna wait until December 5th when I go again to my dentist. Hopefully I go then. And then, yeah. And then maybe I'll... hopefully I don't have a cavity. If so, I'll probably do like January or something, because I don't really want to go back there. I may actually switch dentists, because there's like one across the street from me to my new apartment. Yeah. Okay. So you have Christopher Allport. He's known for facing a talking, killing snowman in this film called Jack Frost, and its sequel, Jack's Revenge, I believe it's called. There's this mysterious Edge of Your Sea movie called Savage Weekend that takes place over a weekend. Hold up. I have like a list of things that he's in, I swear to God. He's like one of the like mice in a way that I think helped William Peterson from like CSI find out about William Dafoe's plan in To Live and Die in LA, directed by the guy that did Exorcist, William Friedkin. Yeah. Okay, this is like one of like the ones that I swear to God you guys are gonna call me crazy for. Clint Eastwood. I don't know where all my movies are, but like I have like 20 or more of like his movies, because like I usually just like watch stuff on like YouTube now, or I don't know if you guys can like see like the bottom screen. If you guys can, I have Paramount Plus right there, and I have this one called like S-Flix. S-Flix is like a free movie website thingy. I'm not sponsored with them or whatever, but like why not just clarify that? Or whatever, but like that's like one that you like use to like watch like his or like any TV shows or whatever, especially like if my internet goes all crazy. But yeah, he's known for being like, "Do you feel lucky, punk?" as the character Dirty Harry, this guy with a gun right there in that picture. Probably also somewhere up here. I don't feel like going down like that. Like scrolling down. He's like right there too, I think. Yeah. But like, "Do you feel lucky, punk?" And a few other famous lines. I hope that they remake it someday. His son, this guy right here, I think they look so much alike that I think that like he could be him easily in a remake if they wanted to. Because like Hollywood now is doing remakes, so it's like, You have Escape from Alcatraz, based off the real life events about the Alcatraz mission, where he may have survived. Like, look into them if you guys don't know or don't want to be spoiled. But he, like, his character named Frank Morris, I believe, escaped with two other people from Alcatraz. Like, they dug a tunnel and stuff out of Alcatraz. But their life rafts were found. But they weren't, unless they were in, like, have secret identities or they're dead by now. Because, like, that was, like, the 1950s, probably. The movie was, like, in the 1970s. So it's, like, maybe 1950s, 60s. But, yeah. He's known for one of my favorite films of all time called Unforgiven, which he also like direct produced, wrote. I think he won an Oscar for it or two, and like Gene Hackman I think won the Oscar for best supporting or best actor for it. And it has his longtime like friend and collaborator Morgan Freeman in it. But yeah. And then you have this movie called Space Cowboys. There was a film that was similar to it with like Brad Pitt, Tommy Lee Jones, and Donald Sutherland. And Donald Sutherland and Tommy Lee Jones were in this film called Space Cowboys. I haven't seen Ad Astra. That's the one I was just describing, the Brad Pitt one. But I want to be like, it's like a sequel, even though it's not, probably, because, yeah. Watch the film if you guys don't want to hear spoilers, even though it was like in the 2000s. But yeah. Just then you have my boy Costas Mandylor. He's known for being Detective Mark Hoffman in the Saw franchise. This is, if you guys can see it, this is him as a GIF. Wait, this is him. Yeah, this is him as a GIF in Saw 4 or 3. Maybe Saw 4, maybe even Saw 5 as well. Because, like, his character's probably in the morgue, so this could be really any of the Saw movies. I love him in the Saw series. Tobin Bell recently, or somebody said he's back. So I wonder if Detective Hoffman right here will be back too. Like, we don't know his fate. We don't know how big of a role the actor named Tobin Bell, of like how big his role is. But do we think, guys, I want to randomly do a video, but it's like, I don't want to, on if Hoffman survived or not, because I don't know. There was this film called Jigsaw, which confuses me, because it's a few years, like a prequel thingy, like a few years before the events of the first Saw movie, which Hoffman kind of gets mentioned in, but not by name. And, like, Jigsaw goes all throughout the movies up until, and then a few years, like, towards the end of the movie or halfway through the movie, it's, like, a few years after Costas' possibly last Saw movie. So it's like this. Is Hoffman alive? Is he not? Because, like, they did not mention him in Jigsaw. Like, I'm going to make a crime channel one of these days, and maybe this will be a video. Is Hoffman dead or alive? Because if you were to think about it, do you think that Detective Halloran, or whatever, from Jigsaw, do you think that he would have asked Hoffman, like, do you know about any game going on? Right? I like want to know so badly, and everybody wants to see Costas back. It's like one of my favorite roles for Costas. He's in the movie Mobsters, that Christian Slater one that I mentioned a little bit ago. And there's like a few other things that he's come. His brother is one of these like things up here too, which I'll like get up to in a bit. So like, yeah, him, Louis Mandylor. Yeah, that's just like some of the stuff that I like of some of the people. I'm gonna do more. Hey, this is. Then you got David Arnold. He's a famous like movie composer. I recently just like had a crush on him because my mom. Okay. So he composed a James Bond tribute for like the 60th year anniversary somewhere in, I believe, Britain, called the Royal Albert Hall. And she sends me a picture of him, or she sent me the clip of him singing a James Bond song that he and late great Chris Cornell wrote. And then she's like, this looks like one of your crushes named Louis Mandylor. You guys will see Louis in like a while or whatever. And then, yeah. David composed like a few of the as many as I can remember of like the 1990s James Bond movies. He did Independence Day, like probably the main score for that. Right. And there's probably a few other things, but I know him for them. It's like Star Wars. Why did I say that first? Sorry, my brain's asleep. Stargate. Like, I'm not gonna get copyright for humming it or whatever, like, I don't want to, but, like, he did, like, the main Roland Emmerich theme for, like, that 1993 Stargate movie, which would later be used in the show Stargate SG-1. And he, sorry, and he did a few of the 2000s James Bonds, like, he and Chris Cornell, like I just said, co-wrote the song called You Know My Name, which I think was the, like, main theme for James Bond. Like, for Casino Royale. And he probably, like, had, like, little inputs on Spectre, Quantum of Solace, and probably No Time to Die as well. But, yeah. And then you got the Hofstra himself, David Hasselhoff. I used to love him to death on the hit series Baywatch. And he had a cameo in the movie. The one that had The Rock as, I think, his character. Like, he was kind of in it, like a little cameo and stuff. He did this awesome TV show called Knight Rider, where there's, like, an artificial car called Kit. And I guess it has superpowers. There's been meaning to be a reboot of it or whatever. I would love to see Zac Efron. Like, they kind of look similar. Like, their faces kind of do, but Zach's probably busy right now. He has a wrestling movie to be done. I forget what it's called or what it's about. And then who knows what else. Like, he grew up from a teenage star. Like, he was in, last year or whatever's Firestarter remake. And David's known for this movie about a car named, I don't know what it's called, to be honest, called Kung Fury. It's sort of like Ready Player One, if I can remember exactly. And there's a sequel, which he's also back in, I believe. And he did one of my favorite songs for it, called True Survivor. Then you got a guy that I was talking about earlier, Dennis Quaid, one of my favorite talk holidays besides Kirk Douglas. I loved him as Wyatt Earp, as I just said. He lost loads of weight for it, and people thought that he was actually, like, ill on set. He was in the remake version of Footloose, the one that had Julianne Hough from Dancing with the Stars. I probably like that one more just because of that. I mean, no offense to, like, Kevin Bacon or any of the original cast. He was in this film with a bunch of my crushes coming up soon called The Right Stuff. Like, a few of the people down here and stuff, they're in stuff with him. And then there's this really inspirational one called I Can Only Imagine. This, like, teenager named Bert. He got bullied when he was a little kid by his father, played by Dennis, in the movie. And and then he dies, I think. Yeah. Like, he has cancer or something, and the son, like, kind of wonders what it would be like if the dad was a lot nicer and stuff. Which he eventually would, I believe. And then you got the Dawn of all Dawns, Donald Sutherland. I'm weird. He's known for playing President Snow in Hunger Game movies. When I was a little kid, I used to love this movie called MASH, which is based off of the, like, 1970s war comedy TV show. He's Benjamin Hawkeye Pierce in the movie from, like, the 1970s, like, a year or something beforehand. There's this mystery thriller movie called Don't Look Now, which terrifies me still. Like, it's like one of those, like, edge of your seat movies from, like, the 1970s. And there's this horror movie remake called Salem's Lot. Okay, the 1979 version terrified me. This remake, one of Salem's Lot of Donald's, has Rob Lowe in it. I haven't seen it yet. I'm, like, terrified too. Just because the original 1979 scared me. And apparently there's a new one coming out in, like, 2023. That's probably going to terrify me as well. Because it's apparently supposed to be scarier than the Donald Sutherland in the original one. I also have a crush on Donald Sutherland's son Kiefer. So, like, you'll hear him later. Like, you'll see him later in the thingy. Then you have Ed Harris. I believe Ed Harris is the robotic gunslinger in the film, in the series Westworld. He's one of the astronauts, along with Dennis Quaid, and them that goes up in The Right Stuff. And speaking of the right stuff, so like it's like an astronaut kind of movie, and he kind of led Apollo 13 with Tom Hanks, Blake Ray, Bill Paxton, and a bunch of other amazing people in it. Then you have Esai Morales. I think he's supposed to be like the Mission Impossible villain of the next one, number 7, 8, whatever it is. He's Richie Valens' half brother in the film La Bamba. Awesome movie. He was in this Mexican cartel movie called Mia Familia, also known as My Family, with Jimmy Smith / Bail Organa. And he leads a team of vampires in the remake Netflix series From Dusk Till Dawn. Then you got hello there, Ewan McGregor. He's obviously known for playing Kenobi, right? Right, guys? Even though this is, like, not a live thing, he's obviously known for being Kenobi. Teaming up with Nicole Kidman for one of the greatest musical films ever called Moulin Rouge, directed by Baz Luhrmann. I hope Baz runs for Elvis, if he gets nominated. And he's the adult version of Danny Torrance in Doctor Sleep, which is a sequel to The Shining set like 40 years later. Speaking of things that are like set 40 years or whatever later, he was also Christopher Robin in the film Christopher Robin, about like an adult version of Christopher Robin, sort of like Peter Pan, sort of like the movie Hook, kind of. But yeah. And then you got the late great Fred Ward. I used to love him in the hit movie Tremors. I hope that it gets like remade one day, even though it probably will. Like the CGI probably got better, and some of the cast is still alive, so like maybe they could get cameo like Kevin Bacon. Paul Gross is probably still alive. I think that was him. Or something. But yeah. There's this hit movie called Remo Williams. And get this, guys. It was called Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins, but it's like this. There wasn't a sequel. Maybe there could be, though. And there could be, oh my god, John Borthnall, I believe that's his name. He kind of looks like Fred in, like, this picture right here. And a few, like, other pictures. This is him and Remo Williams. I think that was him and Remo Williams, yeah. He also is, once again, one of the people that goes up with Dennis Quaid and Ed Harris and the right stuff. Sorry if I keep on saying that. I always apparently want to. And he's one of the, I don't know if you want to call him possibly, escaped people that escaped with Clint Eastwood and the right stuff. In Escape from Alcatraz. Sorry, my brain's asleep. Then you got Gregory Peck. Since I started this channel, I've been addicted to The Omen. I used to do this channel called Shannon Gates C, which used to be like my main channel. I used to like do movie reviews. I hardly ever post on it. That's why I said I used to. And I used to talk about Gregory Peck a lot. He was in like one of my favorite horror films of all time called The Omen, which was in like 1976. One of the greatest like horror films ever. Still scares me to this day. Like, I want answers to a few of the questions. Like, why didn't this person go crazy? Why didn't this person do anything? Yada, yada, yada. There's this famous movie called To Kill a Mockingbird, like one of the greatest courtroom movies of all time, based off of a book. You have this one called The Boys from Brazil, where he's like an evil doctor cloning little kids to be like the next Hitler, with like two of my other crushes coming up soon in it. And then this part's going to be confusing for a second. I don't know who did it, but there's this movie called Cape Fear in like the 1960s. Okay. With late great Robert Mitchum and a few other people in it. And then like 1991 or something, 1990 or whatever, Nick Nolte would be Gregory Peck's character in a remake. Robert De Niro would be Robert Mitchum's character. And Robert Mitchum, Gregory Peck, and this guy, I don't know who he was in the original, but this guy named Martin Balsam from the original would be in the remake. I think Gregory, if I can remember correctly, Gregory's on the bad side on De Niro's side. Mitchum kind of helps out the good side, like Nolte's side. And I think Martin Balsam is a lawyer or a judge in the remake, but I don't know who he was in the original. Then you got the hottie. I used to call him this like when I was a little bit younger. Harrison Ford, the hottie. He's obviously known for flying the Millennium Falcon and having a red walking carpet for a friend. And Bullwhip for Jorah, for Indiana Jones, screaming, "Get off my plane!" and being the president, and screaming, "I didn't kill my wife!" So I'm doing like my best Harrison Ford imitations. And why not? Just recently, guys, I don't know how long this was actually recently announced, but he's going to be Captain, or whatever, Thunderbolt in like the next phase of Marvel films, replacing late great William Hurt. Maybe if they did another Hulk movie or something. Also, there may be a young Indiana, or an Indiana Jones TV series in the works for Disney+. I may do like a little prediction on that when we get more details though, because like Indiana 5 comes out in 2023 of like June or July, I think. So it's like this. Will any of those characters be involved? Like, what's going to be the storyline of that TV show? Right? Then you got Harvey Keitel. He's known for being a bunch of like kind of bad guys in some things. Like, he's known for being the mobster who chases down Whoopi Goldberg in Sister Act. He's the father of twins. And then I think he turns into vampire from Dusk Till Dawn, the movie. The one that was like by Robert Rodriguez, who later did like the Spy Kids movies. He's Detective Jack Crawford, who sends I think it was Edward Norton to seek the help of Dr. Hannibal Lecter in a case in this movie called Red Dragon, which is a prequel to Silence of the Lambs and Case. And you guys are like horror fans. And then Thelma and Louise, I believe he's like a detective that chases Susan Sarandon and Gina Davis. Okay, this guy right here, he's the original guy in that Salem's Lot movie that terrified me. This is what he kind of looks like in Salem's Lot, but this is like a black and white picture of him. But he still terrifies me in it, no matter how many times I watch the movie. He's known for being in this film called Lolita, where this looks kind of like him in Lolita, a little bit. Even though it's like his IMDb, his Wikipedia picture. But he is like a college professor, and he hits on this young girl. He tries to get closer, but like the mom gets in the way, and then he marries the mom. She runs out in the street after finding something out, and then he kind of has an affair with her. And yeah. He's in Salem's Lot, that 1979 version that scares the pants off of me. Never gonna watch that new remake that they're gonna do, probably. Even though, watch this, I'm gonna do it, and then I'll probably do some kind of review on like Halloween one year. Or stream it on Discord if anybody wants the type thingy. And then he kind of helps, like, right, Sir Laurence Olivier, one of my crushes coming up soon, with finding Gregory Peck in that, the Boys from Brazil movie. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to take a voice break / my iced cappuccino drink. Okay. Back. It was right beside me. Because I probably should get going soon, but we got a few of these people to go. Then you got one of my favorite Joker actors ever, next to Heath Ledger and Jack Nicholson. Joaquin Phoenix. Guys, I cannot wait for Joker 2, even though some people don't really like the idea, because Lady Gaga is apparently going to be, or is confirmed, I guess, I don't know, to be Harley Quinn. I like that kind of idea. There's been like a few concept thingies as well, or multiple Jokers, because it's called like Filet de Veuves or whatever. I would also love to see William Dafoe as a Joker. Like, there's been fan art of him. Even I think like before the Joaquin Phoenix talks, there was like William Dafoe image like of him with the like fake like with like the makeup on and stuff, like just edited and stuff. He's known for playing Commodus, I believe, in Gladiator, one of my favorite films of all time. Walk the Line was also a really great film. I wish that he would have won an Oscar for it, if you guys ask me. And then, as I realized, I'm Johnny Cash. And then this film called You Were Never Really Here. If you guys have seen the movie Taken, it's sort of like that. It's based off of a book, I believe. I did like, I don't know where it is or what I called it. It was called like You Were Never Really Taken, but I did it like a little mini like sequel or prequel thingy based off the book, based off this other one. It's called like You Were Never Really Taken. I forget if it was on Comaful, which is sort of like WhatsApp or WhatsApp. Maybe I'll go check that later. Oh, great. Then you have Kevin Costner. Okay. He's one of my favorite White Earps. In White Earp from like 1994. One of my favorite like great Whitney Houston movies is The Bodyguard, and I'm curious if they're gonna like get somebody to be him, or they're gonna like CGI him or something like that, or deepfake him for that Whitney Houston biopic movie with Naomi Ackie from The Rise of Skywalker called I Want to Dance with Somebody. It looks like there could be a clip from The Bodyguard in the trailer, or like maybe I'll do a behind the scenes kind of thingy. And they'd be like, meet Kevin Costner, or her recording I Will Always Love You, or something, and then, yeah. He's in one of my other favorite Western movies called Silverado, which was directed by the guy that did Wyatt Earp, Lawrence Kasdan, who would later write some of the Star Wars films. If You Build It, He'll Come / Field of Dreams, and teaching me about history, like Buffalo and Indians and Dances with Wolves. I used to, like, own a few of his films, including that. I think I got rid of Waterworld. I didn't like it that much, that movie. Yeah. Then you got Kiefer Sutherland. I told you I would get to him. He's in this movie called Stand By Me. It's a Stephen King one with, like, River Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix's little older brother in it. I haven't seen it, but apparently it's, like, not scary. Like, I'm terrified of some Stephen King stuff. Like, I loved both versions of it. Like, the remake that they did in, like, 2017 or 19. In the 1990s, like, miniseries. I loved Pet Sematary. I love this one called... pardon me. This one called Thinner. Silver Bullet. And a bunch of other Misery, and a bunch of other movies, but I've yet to see Stand By Me. He taught you how to be a vampire. Probably one of maybe the first vampire movies ever, called The Lost Boys. This is him in The Lost Boys. He's known for screaming, "Damn it, Chloe!" in this hit TV series called 24. There's this actor named Boyd Holbrook. Okay, he's in like the movie Logan or something. And I think he's gonna be in Indiana Jones 5. So there's this TV show, apparently it was on like this thing called Quibi, which is like a 10-minute or whatever episode thing, like for episodes went on for like 10 minutes or whatever. And it's called The Fugitive. And it's like a different take on the movie and on the TV show, the same name, that Harrison Ford one. Like, Kiefer Sutherland's your detective, but it's like not his character's name from the movie or the TV show, like the original TV show. And Boyd Holbrook is like a scientist or a train engineer when Harrison Ford's character is a doctor. And I think Kiefer is like FBI when it was like U.S. Marshal for the original. One of my favorite Westerns of all time is the Young Guns movies as well, and I hope to God he's number 3, but I don't know if it could make sense of that, because his character died in Young Guns too, but like, some of those scenes were inaccurate. Then you got Lance Henriksen. I'm about to go into weird town. He's known for teaching a teenage Damien Thorne of who he is in the film The Omen, too. He's known for chanting out Pumpkinhead. A like supernatural kind of cursed movie type thingy called Pumpkinhead. They're supposed to be a remake. He's, for the millionth time I feel like I said this, he's one of the astronauts that goes up in the right stuff. He's also in the hit movie Alien. Or one of the Aliens movies, because there's like multiple ones, so it's like, yeah. Then you got Sir Laurence Olivier. He's known for doing a bunch of Shakespearean movies. He was in the original claymation or whatever, Clash of the Titans. And then he's like the good guy in The Boys from Brazil. Speaking of Clash of the Titans, then you got Liam Neeson, who would do a remake, like, maybe 30 years after the Lawrence original thingy. Liam Neeson's also known for threatening a bunch of people with it. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. For taking 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 one day. Who knows? Then you got him teaching us about how the Force works, midichlorians and stuff in Star Wars, and then his surprise return in Kenobi. Even though we all knew that that was coming. He voices Aslan in the Narnia movies. And then you got the late great Schindler's List. Based off of like real life events, and so I'm like the late great. And it's just like one of the saddest movies of all time. I own it, unfortunately, but yeah, maybe I'll watch it again one day. Help me. Oh, too bad this isn't live. I want to scream, Jackson, help me. Trey, help me. For the next guy coming up. But you got Diamond Phillips. He's known for playing Richie Valens in the hit movie La Bamba. He probably did like his own singing or like pre-recording or voiceover thingy. He's in Young Guns 1, 2, maybe 3? Alright. As this Indian named Henry standing there who helps out Billy the Kid once in a while. And then you got the hit series Longmire, based off a series of books. There's like a convention in like Colorado, I believe, one every like year or something. And like a bunch of the cast comes by that's associated with it, maybe him and them. Like they have fun with like with fans, karaoke, anything. Oh great. Trey, help me. You got Louis Mandylor. Hi. One of the lows of my dear life. Oh no. He's known for playing the like little brother Nicky in the films. My Big Fat Greek Wedding 1, 2, and recently it was, I don't know if it was filmed or part filmed, but 3. I cannot wait for those. Like those, that was probably my first like introduction to him. Or he guest appeared on a few thingies. Like there was this show that I used to love, which was similar to Indiana Jones, called Relic Hunter, like with a female lead and then like her scientist friend, and he like guest appeared on that and a few other things. Then you got this movie called Antidote. It's like a sinister kind of version of Wizard of Oz. Like there's a adult instead of a kid, or instead of a teenager. She has something go wrong with her instead of the tornado. She gets put into a coma, or she falls into one during whatever the surgery was. And then this evil guy is like the Wicked Witch, pretty much, but a mental hospital evil doctor trapped in a coma, and like his workers are kind of like the monkeys. I'm just laughing at the fact that I call him Wicked Witch. Yeah. And then I used to like love mafia films. Like I love The Godfather and stuff, and he's in this one called Sinners and Saints with like Sean Patrick Flannery, who actually played like young Indiana Jones once. And he was in like the Saw movies and stuff, yeah. With his brother, with Lewis's brother. Then you got Mads Mikkelsen. Hold on. Give me a second. Then you got Mads Mikkelsen. He's known for playing like the prequel kind of Hannibal in the Silence of the Lambs movies, but this time the movie, the TV series Hannibal, which I loved. I wish they wouldn't have gone longer. Hopefully somebody picks it up one day and does it right. I loved him in Rogue One. I don't know if we're gonna see him in. I kind of want to ask somebody on Twitter that I follow and be like, do you think we'll see Galen / and/or, get it, and/or, but separately for the and/or part thing, and be like, Krennic? Alright. And then he was in this film called The Hunt, which won him a bunch of awards. I've yet to see him as Grindelwald. And I loved him in Casino Royale as well. Oh, okay. Then you got this, sorry guys, I'm blushing over here over a bunch of these people. This guy named Mark Klebanoff, I guess that's his name. He's one of Louis Mandylor's friends, and I love a few of his things that he did with Louis. There's this one called The Morning. It's kind of a confusing movie, if you watch it from the very beginning. I feel like that's all I've seen of him, but he's probably done other stuff. Kind of more. Then you got the Dawn of all Dawns, Marlon Brando. He's known for, first off, probably teaching you what kryptonite are, and introducing you to Spider-Man. Sorry. To Superman in the film. Superman. He was Julius Caesar or Mark Antony in the film. Julius Caesar, I believe. And he did the famous "I'll make you an offer you can't refuse" in this hit movie called The Godfather, which I love so much. Vito Corleone right here is one of my favorite characters of cinematic history. Look at how great they did. If you guys haven't, I highly recommend watching this hit show on Paramount Plus. You can probably find it find it everywhere else. And it's called The Offer, and it's how all these actors, how Marlon Brando got cast and everything in the Godfather, but it's actors playing them. If you guys are fans of Fantastic Beasts, of the movie series Fantastic Beasts, I forget who he plays, but Dan Fogler is Francis Ford Coppola, the guy behind the Godfather movies. Yeah. If you guys are fans of the Grey's Anatomy show, I forget what his name was, but it's Alex Karev, I believe. Wait, yeah, Dr. Alex Karev, the actor Justin Chambers, he plays Marlon Brando and they look like twins. There's probably a picture online, but yeah. And they probably got Miles Teller's in it fabulously. Oh, good. They got Martin Sheen. He's known for being a president in The West Wing. The original Firestarter, which I loved, with a young kind of Drew Barrymore. He was kind of also an evil president, a runner-up president in the hit movie The Dead Zone, which is one of my other favorite Stephen King films that I gotta mention. Yeah. And a few other things. I loved him in the Amazing Spider-Man movies. They got Pedro Pascal, also known as Daddy Lorian. He's known for teaming up with Boyd Holbrook, Christian Slater, Priyanka Chopra, Nick Jonas' wife, and a few other people. We Can Be Heroes, and obviously Daddy Lorian, the Mandalorian with the child Grogu. I haven't played The Last of Us game, so I'll probably check out The Last of Us TV series, just because I'm excited for it. Plus, if I can remember correctly, I forget who, John Campia or somebody said that the creator of The Last of Us is involved in the show. And I also loved him in Narcos. I also knows this character. Sorry, I don't want to go down like he's probably shirtless, like right there or something. And it's like, I don't want to get. Yeah. Then you got Robert D. Chungus. Sorry, I call him that on Discord all the time. Robert De Niro. A bunch of us call him that because, like, there's. I don't know who it is, but there's a Robert De Niro impersonalist that's like. That, he, I guess, says the word Big Chungus a lot. Like, you can find that guy on, Cameo, I believe. But he's known for being, like, teaming up with Martin Scorsese once in a while, or almost all the time, be like, you talking to me? In Taxi Driver. Being fabulously cast as, like, a young Marlon Brando in a prequel to The Godfather called The Godfather Part 2. And a bunch of other fantastic things. Then you got Sam Neill. Okay. The Omen is one of my favorite films of all time. Like, I feel like I said it. Right. And he's an adult version of Damien Thorne in The Omen 3. This is him, like, in The Omen 3. He's known for, like, taking off his glasses to the iconic John Williams to like the Jurassic Park themes for 1, 3. I haven't seen Dominion yet, but might as well just say, and Dominion! He also goes up against Harvey Keitel, I believe, in the piano. I want to watch Jurassic Park Dominion now. Then you got Scott Glenn. He's Kevin Costner's adult brother in the hit film Silverado, the one that was directed by Lawrence Kasdan, I said. This movie called Vertical Limit, I believe I said that earlier, when the Ben Mendelsohn's ones with, like, Ray Bill Pax in them. I feel like this is, like, one of the last times I said this or whatever, but he's one of the astronauts that goes up in the right stuff that Ed Harris, Dennis Quaid, Lance Henriksen movie. And he casts, this is him in this movie, but he sends Clarice Starling, Jodie Foster, fabulously cast in, to go see Hannibal Lecter's help in Silence of the Lambs. And then you got late great Sir Sean Connery. Oh god. He's known for rolling around basically to gun barrel lessons with his martini shaken not stirred, driving around in his Aston Martin. Being Henry Jones Sr., Indiana Jones' father. Fun fact, you guys, I don't know how many of you guys know this, but Sean Connery is like 9 years older than Harrison Ford. Maybe 8 and a bit at the time of filming Indiana Jones 3. And he's Robin Hood at one point in Robin and Marian with like the late great Audrey Hepburn as Marian Ravenwood. As Marian. Love interest Robin Hood. And then, like, in 1991, he would be Sir Richard Lionheart in Kevin Costner's Robin Hood. Also, there's, like, no picture unless, like, there's, like, one at the side or whatever. Why does it say the Avengers? But also, he's in this amazing film called The Untouchables. If I hit this, it'll probably say Untouchables. about taking down famous mob boss Al Capone, played by De Niro, with Kevin Costner in it once again. And then you got Taika Waititi. What can I say about Taika? I loved what he did with Thor Ragnarok. Like I said, I feel like I'm going to be like I said during the Anthony Hopkins thingy. I haven't seen Love and Thunder. Maybe I will one day, though. I loved his work in The Mandalorian. Cannot wait for him to be back, because I think he does episodes of Season 3, if I'm not mistaken. And whenever we get his Star Wars movie. If we get it, because, like, Damien Lindelof has a Star Wars movie. Sean Levy may have one. But it's like this. What's happening with Kevin's movie? What's happening with Taika's movie? Like, who's going to be the next director anyways? Maybe I'll do a video. I forget if I did it here or whatever. But maybe I'll do a video one day on, like, who I want to direct a Star Wars movie. Because I got, like, a bunch of, like, directors in my brain. And, like, actors in my brain for, like, a bunch of things. So it's like, I'm sure I can come up with a bunch of directors that could direct the next Star Wars movie. Like, people that I want to see. Like a James Gunn kind of Star Wars movie. Maybe even, oh, good, and he's coming up soon. I just had a brain fart for, like, one quick second. Oh, Tony Gilroy. He does The Andor beautifully, and he, I think, redid or whatever, either the script or reshot scenes for Rogue One. So, yeah. I also loved in What We Do in the Shadows, the comedic spin about vampires, and I really loved Jojo Rabbit. I think I own that, and I own the book Caging Skies that it's based off of. Then, my friend Trey knows I love this guy, but Thomas Ian Griffith, also known as Tig. He's known for being the bad boy of karate. Well, one of the bad boys of karate. Terry Silver in Karate Kid 3. You know, teaching us about the famous Quicksilver method. The man concerned, he can't fight. I want to see Terry Silver back, and I hope we will get it. Alright, I'm sure we will. And Cobra Kai. He was obviously in Cobra Kai season 3. Like, this was, like, one of the first, like, episode 3, I think. And then this was one of the recent season 5 ones. There was also, like, in the trailer or something for season 5, which has been out since, like, December. And be like, so you guys are, why did I say December for? Like, September. So, like, you guys are probably safe from Cobra Kai season 5. Right. And I want to see him back in season 5. Like, his wife, like, his wife right here, Mary Page Keller, she could even be, like, Terry Silver's wife or love interest or something. That would be kind of cute. Alright. Then you got this one called Excessive Force, where he plays another character named Terry. He kind of looks a little bit like this in it. Even though it probably says, like, up there, Excessive Force. What the? Why does it say Power Rangers for? Also famous vampire named Sean Valek, I believe, in the John Carpenter movie Vampires. I probably can see Excessive Force. And this right here is Detective Terry McCain, Excessive Force. Yeah, that's like a better one. That's him as that vampire, Jean Valek, I believe. But yeah. Who, like, breaks the law for, like, a Dirty Harry type thingy. And this film called Cracker Jack, which is kind of like that. And then Tony Gilroy, he famously did Andor. Like, he writes Andor along with, I believe, his brother or a few of his family members. He did I almost said the James Bond. The Jason Bourne films, like, I think he wrote them. Maybe he directed one of them. Yeah. Also, like, I think produced some of my favorite things. He did, like, Armageddon, like, produced it, I believe, which I own, and obviously Rogue One. I think it says he produced that, too. Then you got William Fichtner, who I used to have the hugest crush on in this hit. He was, like, one of the people that went up in Armageddon to, like, fix the space station. I think he got asked why so serious by Heath Ledger in Batman in The Dark Knight. He played football in The Longest Yard, which was in fact a remake of like a 1970s movie that had like two of the people cameoing from the original. Well, more of a cameo, like not just a cameo, but like more of a bigger role for late great Burt Reynolds, because his character was Adam Sandler's in the original. And he helps Adam Sandler in the remake. And the guy that plays Captain Canara, Williams' original, like his character. Yeah. Had a cameo in the remake. Not like helping out, kind of on the bad side / good side, probably helping out William Fichtner at one point off screen. But yeah. And then there's these two TV series I'm going to randomly talk about quickly. There's this one called Prison Break, where there's this character named Michael, who's like one step ahead of a bunch of cops. Like, there's this cop right here, Detective Alex Mahone. And then there's this one who, this looks kind of like him in it, but there's probably a tab section. This one, named Detective Carl Hickman, him right there, with Donald Sutherland, called Crossing Lines. Like, these are all international actors and actresses. Like, this one's from France, I believe. I think he's, like, German or whatever. Donald Sutherland, I believe, is British. Like, he sounds like he's British, but he's Canadian. And, like, I forget these other, like, three. Like, William probably has some kind of nationality. And it's like this. They travel the world pretty much, especially like internationally, because they're called the International Criminal Court. But yeah. Then you got